Good afternoon, I'm Suzanne Verdi. In a milestone for the UK's vaccination programme, half of all British adults have now received their first COVID jab. The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, tweeted the news a short time ago, calling it a national success story and a way out of this pandemic. But as parts of Europe begin fresh lockdowns due to a surge in cases there, is having half of adults protected here enough to stop another wave hitting the UK? Lewis Warner reports.
Just over 3 months since the UK made history by giving the first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, a major milestone has been reached. Those getting their jab this morning in London are now among the second half of the population to do so, as more than 50% of all adults in the country have been given at least one dose.
It's really significant. I mean, you look at what's happening in other European countries, they've got a lower rate.
I sort of hope it might make things easier for me to move around, but I don't have any expectations.
I cannot be happy enough just to see the end of it.
Meanwhile, as the UK heads towards easing restrictions, in parts of Europe, they're not so lucky. Overnight, 16 areas of France went back into lockdown, joining Italy and Poland. Restrictions also look likely for Germany as the continent braces itself for a third wave.
We are seeing surges in cases in much of Europe now, and we should fully expect to see that within the UK as well sometime soon.
With what's happening in Europe potentially happening here as well, does the fact the UK has done so well with the vaccination rollout protect the NHS from being overwhelmed in the future?
I think it does to an extent, and I think that's what we need to remember. So what vaccination does is protect the people who are vaccinated to an extent, not fully, against severe disease. And it sort of breaks that link, or let's say weakens that link between cases and hospitalizations and deaths. But that link still exists, and it's not weak enough that if cases start rising now, we won't see increase in hospitalizations and deaths.
Last night, the Prime Minister celebrated after receiving his first dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. But the toughest of times could still be ahead for the rollout. A significant reduction in supply is expected from the end of March, with no new appointments being made until the end of April. The government is clear. There may be bumps in the road ahead, but there is no doubt 3 months into the vaccination programme, the UK is in a stronger position. Lewis Warner, ITV News.